Good morning, everybody. AJ, the CEO here. Hope you're having a great day. And we're excited to be back here. I am feeling a whole lot better from this little elementary school bug or whatever that happened that I got from my daughter. But again, thank you so much for stopping by. Let me verify the sound real quick, just to make sure everything is going good. I hope y'all are all doing well, and give me a half a second to verify. Come on. All right. Audio sounds fine. Please let me know if I need to speak up, or if there's a volume issue, I am almost cranked all the way up. So hopefully everything is well. Anyway, folks, AJ the CEO here. We're trying to come here every Friday to try and answer your questions as best as we possibly can when it comes to media ministry. I do not know everything, folks, but hopefully the little bit I do know will help you on your path to get your stuff answered. If I do not get to your question, know that you can email me a question to ajhomes.com. Give me 48 to 72 hours to respond. And that's about it. If me and you go back and forth more than 3 times in the email, I would highly recommend you go to ajhomes.com/consultations and set up a consultation so we can have a dedicated hour or longer to talk through any of the stuff that you have issues with. What else? If you're not a part of our Facebook group, folks, I highly recommend you go to Facebook, look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, answer the 3 questions, and you will be a part of the 3,400 media ministries and growing community where we're helping each other. It's like this 24 hours a day. I don't have all the equipment out there, folks, but somebody is. And we're building a community, not talking about denominations, colors, creeds, countries, whatever. We're there to try and help educate everybody to push the message forward out to the highways and hedges and throughout the whole world. So that's where that is. So again, that Facebook group is not meant for you to share your message, share your church live stream or anything like that. Mjolnir will kick you out of that group super fast. It is meant to answer questions and help one another. If you have an issue with your live stream and you want to use that as a reference, chop it up into something less than 15 seconds and ask for help with it. Just don't put it up. Well, God gave me a message. That's great. Put it on your own page. Don't put it on that one. All right. So now that we got all that stuff out the way, I don't know if you saw the comment. I'm going to see if I'm going to bring it up again. What I'm going to do, because we've been trying to do this, we have our 2025 4ME conference, e-missionary conference coming up July 18th and 19th. And what I want to do is, looking through the comments, I want you to put a tag for hashtag 4ME 2025. And at the end of this live stream and every live stream going forward, going up to that, we're going to be giving away a free online ticket to that conference. Just need you to put that tag somewhere in the comments. And because this stuff searches the comments and randomly grabs somebody. So that would be your way of entry into that. And that's it. But I got to bring my pedal back so I can reach it. So that's about it. So let's go ahead and holler at some folks out here. Parker, good morning. Creator for Fun, hello, hello. Francisco, hey, Francisco, look. I'm always messing with Francisco. Hold on, let's go over to turn that one off. And what camera is that? That's 8. Francisco, what look at that. Look at that. We got another one. It's like we got matching ones right there. I'm telling you, man, I'm speaking it into existence for you. Look, them PTZs, that's what I'm talking about. I'm always messing with Francisco and them. Phil Joe, good morning to you. Anthony, good morning. Rob Wilson, good morning. Darius, hello. Love the name. Springtrap, good morning. Paula, good morning to you. Keith, hello. Oh, and it jumped on me. Edward Nickerson, hello. Reverend MJF, hello. Reverend Leroy, how you doing, sir? Miss you on the Zoom calls. Love to see you back on our next roundtable if you're available. Brian Jones, hello. Philip Paul, good morning to you, or good afternoon, good evening, based off where you're at. Mr. Clarence, how you doing? Dr. M. Incio, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Hello. D, hello, D. John, good morning to you. Hello to you. Mr. Michael, hello. Look, I am not going to butcher your name at all. Hello. Butcher your name. Let's see. Hey, well, thank you, Hampton Conway. I appreciate that. Hey, we try to do what we can. Angela, hello, hello. Let's go. We're saying keep on speaking. Hey, I touch and agree. Nick, good morning to you. C. Anderson, good morning. Hey folks, so what we're here, let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way. So, like I said, folks, I want to give, if you like what we do, you can become a Patreon supporter by going to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO. You can click the join button down below to become a YouTube member, or you can go to emissionarygear.com, get any of our merch, and that money helps contribute to all the stuff we do here. I am self-funded or funded by great people like y'all to do the stuff that we do, to buy the stuff that we do, and all this other stuff like that. Thankfully, we got a little bit of credibility, so some companies give me some stuff so we can sample and do testing, and then I give that stuff away for the most part to people that I feel led to, not people that email me and asking me to give it to them. So please don't do that. You'll quickly be on the blacklist for that. Also, want to give a shout out to your media ministry teams. Email me a question to ajhomes.com. Make the subject my media team. Send me a picture of your team, folks, in your church and where you're located so I can shout them out, use this platform to holler at them and say thank you for all the great work they are doing at your church and for the ministries worldwide. Also want to continue to thank y'all for purchasing my book off of Amazon. And like I said, we're excited about the eMissionary Conference July 18th and 19th. The early bird pricing is over. So as effective of February 1st, why did that not loop? Come on, Pro Presenter. You were supposed to loop that. Let's loop that. Soft loop. Check. And let's do it again. There it goes. All right. So in person is now $100 a person. Still, the discount is in effect for teachers as well as groups. If you bring a ministry of 4 to 10 people, you automatically would get a 25% discount. That's going to stay through the entire time. But if you're individual, it's $100. If you're doing it online and attending online, it is $75. So just letting y'all know that's how that is going with that. And with that being said, we are still looking for teachers. We want to make this a great experience for any media ministry that's involved. Again, don't think that you have to just teach technical. It is not technical. We have stuff that, let me just give you an idea of some of the classes I would love to do, because these are things that I see through all the stuff that we do, all the ministries that we help. These are things that are needed. So if you ever had an idea, if you didn't have an idea of what you want to teach, let me give you some ideas. So a couple of things that I think need to be taught is how to preach to a congregation of nothing. Meaning a lot of ministers, it seems like they've lost the ability of public speaking, of how do you talk when there's nobody in front of you? Like right now, I'm talking to the camera because there's nobody here. There's nothing but a wall where I'm at. So I'm just sitting here talking to a camera. But a lot of people, ministers, don't understand, if you're always talking like this and this and this, you need to engage with people. So that's what you see that knife hand? That's military right there. Anyway, you need teaching how to talk to congregations. Also, if you're a minister and you're doing anything outside of your service, your message, giving other ideas of other ministerial staff, other pastors, other ministers who will maybe not be a pastor, how to use media ministry to reach. Now, this may be a taboo comment, so if anybody is in leadership, ministries, or pastors, please correct me if I am wrong. But if God called you to be a minister, that means that you can minister anywhere. So if you have a ministry, you might be the youth minister at your church and you preach on 4th Sundays. That's great. But guess what? You still got a word that may be given to you that you can share that ministry on different days through different stuff. It's about giving ideas, all things about and again, it doesn't always have to be ministry related like that. It could be, hey, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you do a 15-minute Christian exercise class that's online. You can have a church cook-off show or something. The idea is your media ministry is not just a media ministry that functions on the day that you have service. It is a production company that you can produce anything. This isn't Fox where you only play cops every hour. Your ministry can do more than Bible study and Sunday service. So again, we can talk about the technical at the conference, which we will, but it's about expanding your imagination on what else you can do. And if you're doing anything, we'd love you to teach and share with other people. There are so many churches that think that you can only minister if butts are in seats. And they still have the mindset that all this online stuff is a fad. That thought process is a fad. Actually, that thought process is stupid. But anyway, that's what we got going on, and I don't want to blab on that, but that's what we're talking about. But anyway, folks, let's get started. If you have any questions, please start it off with a Q, so it makes it very easy for me to find out where your question is. And let's jump to, well, actually, let me tell you what my calendar is, because I told you I was going to do that. I am leaving Sunday. I will be in Bristol, Pennsylvania from Sunday until Thursday, and I got to beat it right back down here for Thursday because my daughter has a Valentine's Day dance, so Daddy's got to be in attendance there and scare the sweet Moses out of people. Dads know what I'm talking about. So that's what I got going on. So we'll be up there at Norton Baptist Church. Let me make sure I get the name right. Let's see. Yeah, that's where I would be. I mean, I'm gonna be staying in Philadelphia, but I'm gonna be in Bristol, up there, and that's where I would be at Langford. No, why do I keep saying the wrong name? And hold on one second. I want to get the church name right, because I'm mixing up my schedules. I was supposed to do Victoria, but because we had that mail issue, I had to move them back. Yeah, Norton Avenue Baptist Church. That's where we will be at next week. And that is in Bristol, Pennsylvania. And then right after that, we'll be in New Jersey, possibly, doing a install for a funeral home. Do the same stuff because they want to start offering. I mean, if you haven't noticed, a lot of funeral homes want to offer live streaming of the service of what they have. So we're doing that as well too. I think that's it. Yeah. So anyway, folks, fire it away. Send me your questions with a Q, and we will get started with that. Back to Edward. Good morning. Coming in hot this morning. I've updated OBS to 31.0.1, and now I can't find the multi RTMP output dock. Does OBS still support that? Yes, it does. Still support it. You probably just got to reinstall it again. I do have that same thing. I'm waiting for my OBS to open so I can drag it over there for you so we can take a look at that. Get out of here. So over here, let's look at the version. Oh, actually, I have not updated, so we can try this right now. Mine is at 30.23. Let's update this. And first, let's verify that we got it here. So do I have the, multiple outputs? So that's it. I have the ATEM one as well too. So here it is right here. Let's go ahead and do an update. Yes, I want to do the update. And we're just going to walk through and make sure everything is good to go. So it's running through the updates. Yay, it's done. And let's open it up. So as you can see, I am 31.0.1 and my output is still here. So most likely I'm wondering, where did you install everything? Is it still in the native directory where OBS is? If so, if it's not, you might need to point it in a different direction. The easiest thing is just reinstall the multi-output and it should be there. So mine is here. So, and I'm on 31.01 now. So I don't have any issues. So yes, it's still compatible. So I hope that helps you. Let's see. Don't see any new questions so far. Norm, good morning to you. Richard, good morning. See, and this is what I'm saying. This is important because people need to hear that. Not from me, from people who are actually doing it. That's the purpose of the conference. If I had to give the e-missionary conference a subtitle, it's called The Excuse Remover. I have look, can I get on my podium just for a little bit? See, what I think the issue is with churches is they are inward looking. They look inside to themselves for knowledge. So if you have a bias on what you think is not possible and you're only talking to the same people with the same mindset that are going to agree with you, if everybody in your church is thinking that live streaming is not important, and you talk amongst yourselves and you never investigate anything outside of that, you'll believe what you're saying is true. And I've seen so many churches do that to where they just stay to themselves. And I mean, most of my installs come from that, where a church is like, we're staying here, we're staying here, we're staying here. This is what we're going to do. We're not going to change. We're not going to change. And as people started dwelling off, falling away from the ministry, or the congregation gets older and no young blood is coming in, they finally crack that shell, and one or two of them people decide to step out and talk to another ministry that they know that happens to be thriving. And now they've expanded their outlook and their thought process of, I never thought of that. You never think about anything new if you're just talking to the same people over and over again and they're not trying to get any new information. So I've seen so many times churches will say to me, AJ, we don't want the best installed at our church because we don't want people to be too comfortable to stay at home instead of them coming to the church. And then I always tell them, what if I live 20 states away? How am I going to come to your church if your church is in Virginia, but I'm watching you from California? Don't you want to give them the best experience? I never thought about that. I thought our live streaming was just for those lazy members that don't want to come to church. And I was like, and that's a fallacy in your thinking. You're limited in what you're thinking, you know? So that's why I say, when you say stuff like that, that's having conversations and talking with other churches. Like we have other churches, like just the other church I was just installing. I was telling them how one ministry's media ministry is being ran by kids from the ages of 12 up to 19. That blew their mind because they were thinking no kids would be interested. And I'm like, well, I gave you an example. Here's multiple examples of churches that are doing that. I never thought about that. I was like, did you ever ask? No. Well, of course you wouldn't know if you never asked. Jeremy, hi. Is there a way to set up a recurring Facebook stream without having an event pop up? I don't think so, because of how they've set it up. In Facebook, they made that change. I think it's kind of stupid how they did that. Facebook be making changes that no one asked for. So no. The only thing I can think of, you could set up an event. Let's see. Let's try and make one and see how that works. Let me go to my page. And why do they keep posting all this stuff that I have no interest in at all? It's so sad that now, like, I can't show my daughter anything from Facebook or Instagram without like adult rated ads popping up, and it's a shame. It gets to that point you can't even do anything like that, because I have no idea what's gonna pop up. All right, so I got to be careful about this as well too. So in here, say I want to do a live video and I want to create an event. See, because the way they did it, they make it an event. So it's going to keep going on. So if you do live here, this is going to be a one-off. The event is going to allow you to make multiple ones. I wish they would make another one where it's go live, schedule, and an event, because maybe I don't want it to be an event. But if we go here to an event, because I actually had one for my live stream and I actually canceled it. So let me just do it like this. We'll call this Ask Me Anything About Media Ministry. And we will do this on the 14th at 10:15. And this is a recurring event. Why did it change my time? And it starts at 10:15, ends. Let's say it ends at noon. Come on now, take that. Well, maybe 12:30. 12:30, right? And I want this to repeat weekly. Why does it keep changing my 10:15? Start date. Why do you keep doing that? And I'll just do it out to the 31st. And it ends at 12:30. Right? And we're going to save that. Answering your media ministry questions. And so what are our settings? We'll come back to that. Event settings and options. Only host can post. Yes. All right, we'll create that. Come on now. Why is that taking so long? Maybe it's okay. And then we would set up our live and we come back to that and we're going to change that code so that it doesn't go that way. So we would go live and everything. So yeah, I mean the only reason why I guess people would, yeah, I don't know. I mean, just going through that because I guess you get notified anytime that would pop up. Yeah, honestly, it stinks. I mean, I would think there's no way around that, especially if people are following you. You would get people would get a notification when you go live. So I guess that isn't the bad part about it because people would still get notified because you would want them to know about it when you're getting ready to go live. But I guess you just don't want them to see it as an event. Is that correct? Let me know and I'll circle back on this. John, I use vMix HD for our video mixing. How do I get the output to distribute within the building? Tried full screen, but it's not HD quality. All right, so I'm actually using vMix the same way. And if I cut back to my camera here, so what you're seeing right here, the image right here, that is what I'm distributing vMix so that I can see what's going on. So if I cut back over to this camera, I should have just used this one. So look at that little girl right there, my baby girl. Anyway, if I cut back over here, so I got vMix that's running everything right here. It is outputting to the web presenter right here. It's sending that feed. It is also outputting to that monitor. No, let me take that back. That monitor is coming from the ATEM. So from vMix, it is also going to the screen right here in front of me so that I can see. So inside those settings, and I don't have this hooked up so I can see it. I think that was the reason why I had it. So let me see if I can, do I have vMix on this computer? No, I do not. Huh. So inside of here, let me ask you this, John, what do you, are you outputting via a the graphics card? On how is the video coming out of your computer? That you want to go to? Is it coming from an extra output that's from your graphics card, or are you using something else? Like in my computer here, I have a Decklink mini monitor that is outputting HDMI or SDI. But let me know, what are you doing that's outputting? Again, the monitor in front of me, that's also coming from my graphics card. So you have to, let me download it and maybe I can see it directly here and show you. So I'll circle back, but let me know that and I'll come back to your question. Brian, exactly. Exactly. Okay, I already answered that. Norm, I heard back from the pastor. They're still in the process of getting this grant done. So, unfortunately, I do not have an estimated time. I did tell them the longer they drag it out, the more stuff I'm going to have piled up. I can't keep pushing off other clients if they're still going through that process. But again, the good thing is the more they delayed, more products have come out. So, like with the stuff that I was going to do with them from Unified, they have brand new stuff that is going to replace a lot of the stuff that I was going to do originally with them. All right, so I am juggling too many things at the same time. Let's install vMix here. And we're going to go through those settings so I can show you kind of what that will do. And while that's being installed, I will look at some other questions here. If y'all only knew how much stuff I'm juggling, most of the time I'm doing the alerts. I'm writing out lyrics for the VOP that I play for the next fifth Sunday. And then I'm installing this, and Google is saying I'm out of space. So I'm removing and downloading files and videos and photos that they're saying is taking up too much space. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes that y'all don't see. And just that quick, I forgot what I was getting ready to do. I've learned a lot from you and still learning. Oh yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Edward, you're welcome. Larry, church has got to get very creative today. Yeah, and to be quite honest, can I say it? Y'all know I normally don't get political, and I'm not going to be as political that I probably could. But it's not even political. It's just a human thing. This is my stance, and this is what I really think. There are times in history where somebody has to stand up and make a change. Meaning that the status quo that somebody else has established long ago, sooner or later needs to be reinvented, remixed, or gutted because it's not effective anymore. And what I really feel is the issue, people refuse to step up and they don't want to be that trendsetter. So for example, like for so long, I'm going to be basic. It used to be that there used to be, like Antioch still does it. There's a different choir for every Sunday. You would think Satan himself has stepped into the church if you come in and suggest maybe we should do away with a senior choir, a gospel choir, a youth choir, a male chorus, and a young adult choir, and we just have a praise team. That sounds ludicrous, but you got to think, or hey, what, you want a choir that doesn't wear choir robes? That's, it's like, what are you holding on to that because that's just what you've done the entire time, but you never sat back and thought of, hey, we might need to change this. Again, I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into it, but I really think a lot of times we still hold on to stuff and we have an unctioning that things need to change, but we don't want to be the catalyst to do it because by us doing that, we stick our heads up and now we're open to tomatoes and criticism and all this other stuff. So, I mean, I felt the same way when I decided to leave music and then do media. Everybody thought I was crazy. Family thought I was crazy. My wife, when I was married at the time, thought I was crazy. Now you go 6 years in the future, it's like, oh man, that's obvious. But again, it's not. Yeah, I'll leave it alone. But we have to be creative. We have to push the limits. That's the reason why God is a creator. We were made in God's image. The reason why you're frustrated is because you're not creating something. That's why we were created. We were created in the image of God, who is a creator. We should be creating something, not just living off the creations of other people. But anyway, any tidbits for connecting the Stream Deck up? I need some pre-made macros to assist me. Well, I mean, that depends. What are you trying to do with your Stream Deck? Tell me that and we can circle back. And then Creative for Fun is going to be right. The church, Norton Avenue Baptist, actually fellowships with Spotlight Deliverance. So that's right around the corner. So I'll be catching up with Creative for Fun when I'm up there. And we can, if I have any time after that, we can go by there and catch up and see what we can do to help you out. But let me know, what specifically are you looking for? Back to Dr. M. I am currently using Restream, and many times my broadcast is desynchronized. What might be the cause of the audio and video during live broadcast, and how do I fix it? Okay, if you're using Restream, Restream is an encoder that is web-based, but that is all being driven based off of the computer that you're running. It's not as taxing, but it still is. So with that being said, how are you bringing in your audio and video into your computer that is then being sent to Restream? Let me know that, and we can diagnose that a little bit more. Back to Creative for Fun. Happy to say that my 11-year-old media volunteer ran the live stream this past Sunday. I so appreciated and needed his help. That's awesome. That's awesome. Back to Jeremy. I'd rather not do Facebook at all and just do YouTube, but our pastor wants to do both, even though we can just point people to the YouTube. And I understand. I kind of don't want to do it as well too, but it's more of, we talked about it a long time ago. It's like a mall, the mall of the world, and it's free for anybody to post up a shop anywhere. So yes, I know I might only want to have a shop at the closest exit, YouTube. But if I do another one that's near the food court, Facebook, it's about how many doors of entry do you want people to come into. So yes, I agree with you. It's so many stuff that I don't like that Facebook is changing and knocks out a whole bunch of stuff. But I do agree doing it on many platforms. Like right now, I am streaming at Twitch, my website, Dailymotion. I don't know if Dailymotion is still up. I was doing Facebook, doing Vimeo, and YouTube. I'm streaming to all of them. I probably got 3 people, and most of them are probably bots on Twitch. But I do it because I want to go through every door that's currently available and that's currently free to let people come in. But I do completely understand. I can see both sides of the story. But yes, I agree. All right, we got that. Yeah, and I understand that. See, that's something else. Need to do a little research on that as well. I'm trying to figure out some ways to work around this. Look, like I said, if we're playing in somebody else's sandpit, we kind of go by their rules. But I do understand the frustration of that. Hello to you. Back to Edward. Location is. Yeah, it shouldn't be there. I thought right click on your OBS and then go to properties and see where it's installed. I think OBS doesn't do it there. It installs it under program files. I think that's where that is. But honestly, just reinstall it, the app, and it'll put it back in the right place for you. Can you recommend both an AI-powered and non-AI software for creating shorts? I'm a beginner and we live stream to Facebook. I am using Opus right now. I am playing around with that. And I was telling some other people about, I really like it, but the type of content that I do makes it very difficult because I'm doing long form content. I rarely do short form. So, but I am playing around with it. So normally I would just take a clip in here and let's see if we can do one live. So I need to find something. I'll do the Starlink one that I just did. So the power of this, you take a short, and I do have it linked to my account, but I'm not doing that like that. So I'll just paste a link to my YouTube video that I want it to do. All right, so it found the clip. I want to give it a length, processing time. What's the length? I want this to be under 60 seconds because that's shorts will go. I think it goes up to 90 seconds now, but I'll keep it there. Keywords are optional. Starlink. And then what's the format? These are the formats that I picked. The colors, you can always change that. You can do quick presets. I ain't doing no Mr. Beast stuff. I'm not doing gameplay. Karaoke is probably just following the words, so I'll pick that one. And we'll do get clips. So we'll come back and see how it processed that. It says it's going to take about 6 to 7 minutes. So we'll come back and see what that has done to show you. Opus Clips is like $9. I got it mainly for that same purpose where I wanted to do it as for church, but real talk, I don't want to keep giving stuff. Can I say it? I don't want to keep doing stuff for ministries that are unappreciative. Now, granted, I'm not doing it for them, but they get the benefit of it. If I put all the work in and you don't give two craps about it and you talk down about it, but then when I stop, then you ask me to do it again. No, you got to understand your worth. And I know we do stuff unto God, but it says don't put your pearls before swine. Don't give your best to people who don't appreciate it. You know, if you do it unto God, that's great. But at the same time, God called us to be kind. He didn't call us to be stupid. All right. You know, you don't keep going somewhere and somebody keeps Rochambeauing you the entire time and then you keep going back asking for more. Some of y'all would know that. South Park people and then Beavis and Butthead people should know that. Hold on. This page won't let me close it. Back to D. I agree. I manage my church's social media pages and I'm running low on creativity. Some of the trends are cool, but not for every ministry. I agree. Otis, hello. All right, back to John. He said you want it out of your graphics card. Cool. So let me open up vMix. I don't know. I told it to open, so I don't know why it didn't. Register for a trial. Hold on 1 second. I got a mechanical keyboard that I really wanted, but it's a smaller keyboard that I'm used to, and I'm hitting different buttons by mistake. All right, there we go. So we are now open. So if I cut over here, let's go ahead and add a camera. We are going to add, maybe I should turn it on. Add a camera. I had to close it out and pick it back up so it can pick up my camera. And it's still, there it goes. Opus action. So we got the camera right here. Lord, hold on. I wasn't expecting that. All right, I got to turn the audio off so I don't have a loop here. So we got this here. So when we come down here to our external, kick the little gear here, and let's go to our outputs. So under here, and you see this thing is slowing down. I don't know why. So under here, you have your outputs. You can have your, you can set where it's going to. So I like to go here to advanced. And got to go back to here. Additional outputs, NDI outputs. So right now it's going to be linked to your display of what you want to output to. So I'll go down here to external output, and then you need to select your monitor. So under here, we have external 1, 2, 3, and 4, and what do you want to show to it? All right. So this is going to be pulling from your graphics card. I do have another one. That's display settings. Let me see if I can find that. So like right here, if I go to my external renderer, see it turns on my other stuff. So if I turn on external renderer, see I can select my deck link. That's not what you wanted. So under here, we just use our regular settings here. Use display settings, and we set our output. You know, you want to change this to the resolution that you want to output. So that's 1080. And we have our monitors set here. And where was it that they made the monitor? Which one? Options. Oh, here it is. It's under display. And it just does it by numbers, which I hate when it does. So these are your outputs. So let me just show you. If I, yes, I want to save it. I got to restart it. Ugh. All right, camera, why are you not showing? Change this. Let's pick it up again. Let's say none so we can get rid of that. I don't know why it's not showing my camera. Change it one more time. No audio. There it goes. That's strange. All right, so now that we set it, let's go ahead and click the external. I was getting ready to say the eternal. All right, it's hanging on me. Did it not carry over? That's strange. Because normally you would click on the this to start the output. So I have my 4 monitors here. So I have output, and then I just start it, but it's not letting me click it. That is strange. I might have to hook my other computer up so you can see it disconfigured. I don't know why this isn't letting me. I don't know if I'm on a free license one. I don't know if that's what's stopping it. I don't know. That is strange. Oh, now it does that. Now, where is my monitor going to? Okay, it's actually outputting to my graphics card on here. So that is actually input number 4. So now, see, that's what it's outputting to. So that's my other screen that's being pushed out. And that's my full screen of what's going on. So again, I'm capturing that screen, so it's putting it out. But let me move this to another screen so we can actually do something different, so you can see what it's actually outputting. So if I bring in vMix, I'm gonna bring in a video, and let me move this back over so y'all can see. So we're outputting everything to that screen. That's number 4. That's what they're seeing. So let's add a video here. But AJaytheCEO, resolve, backgrounds. I'll use this one. And I want that to loop. So that's what's playing. That's in vMix. All right. So now, stop that. Back up again. And now it stopped. The world is going on. I'm gonna have to circle back on this one because my stuff is acting up on me. Because that's output, output, output. That is super strange. If anybody knows if it's something that I'm missing, please let me know. Because this is the same way I have my stuff here. That's how I'm seeing it. I'm gonna try and circle back on a couple of these so I can figure this out and get this answered for you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to circle back. I have no idea why this is acting up on right now. So sorry about that. We're gonna have to come back and get that one straight for you. Oh, jumped on me. John, I'll circle back on you on that one. Like I said, worst case, I have to jump over to the settings on my other computer that has the vMix is running right now. And I am doing that on 3 of my outputs on my graphics card. Rashawn, what is your level on your master out that we are hearing right now? I had you playing on an Echo Dot, had to crank the volume on there. I checked the volume on the other devices and it's fine. I mean, my volume right now is on my Rodecaster. I'm at 0. On the mixer, I'm on 0, so I'm not all the way at the bottom. I'm right there. So next thing would be 2, 5, 10. I'm at 0. That's what I have that set at. And then my master out is at, I have it dropped by 10 decibels. So if I'm looking on my bars right now, I'm mid-level yellow where that's going out to y'all. So other than that, I'm not sure. Let's see. Is it advisable to buy ATEM Television Studio HD even though it has been discontinued from Blackmagic's catalog? This model allowed multiple HDMI and SDI inputs. So is it still recommended for buying? That's kind of hard. It all depends. Because right now I have a ATEM Television Studio HD right here that was broken. One of the outputs is broken, but everything else is still working. So I'm still playing around with it to see what the limitations of art is. My issue with that is since it's discontinued, if you have ever had any issues, you're not going to be able to get it fixed. Now I do understand it's the same price. If you get the Constellation, which is the replacement to this one, which is all SDI, gives you more inputs and more outputs that are addressable. Yes, I understand that if you had any HDMI stuff, now you would have to get, you have to. Sorry, my headphones came unplugged. I couldn't hear nothing. You would have to get a bunch of these SDI to HDMI converters. So if you had a computer or something like that, or if you had going to a monitor, you would have to get these. And then this is adding like $50 to each one. So I understand that price. My concern is if you have an issue and it's discontinued, you're not going to get any service on it. That's the only problem I would say to it. But if you get it at a fairly decent price, again, it's all in the budget that you got. If money wasn't an issue, I would say go with the latest version that replaces that, and then just get the adapters that would fix it, and then you're good for like a warranty and repairs and stuff like that. If you're fine with it, like I'll put it this way. If I got one and I know what I'm using it for and I'm comfortable with it and I know the shortfalls if something has a problem with it, like right now, I got that and I kept it because, hey, this is not going to be in a critical situation. I have multiple failovers to go back to because honestly, the whole point was me to see if I can use this for my live stream and run off of that. That's what it originally was for. But it's just kind of hard. If I put my consultant hat on, I would say no because there are too many cons in that, meaning that if you have an issue, it's discontinued, it's going to be almost impossible probably to get it repaired if it was completely damaged or if anybody was going to touch it. So that's personally how I would feel about that. All right, for best practices, for me, I can just tell you what I do. When I play piano, I set the keyboard at 50 of its volume, and I refuse to change the volume. So that makes it easy for them. I tell musicians, even though some of them are knuckleheads, and they keep turning their instrument up all the way. It's like, why? The sound system is always going to provide louder than that. So I keep my instruments at 50% of their volume. and then I addressed everything from the board. So let me cut back over to this camera right now so I can actually show you. So this is a board I'm setting up right now for Mount Bethel. So I don't have anything set right now to it. Hey, you see that book right there? Francisco. So right now, if I was to cut over here, so this is 0 where I normally set everything. The master volume right here, I never, ever move it higher than 0. I keep it right there. And then almost everybody else, I'll go below 0 or that bigger box right here in the volume that you see right above the fader, if it can get in focus. Come on, come on. Trying to manually adjust the focus now. Anyway, the little rectangles that are above and below the 0, I never take anything higher than that. So that's kind of what I do for my volume when it comes to consistency. And that's the same thing that I do for my volume here. I don't crank up anything. My computer volume that's going into, from a music standpoint or anything like that, I keep my computer at 50 and I set everybody's stuff at 50 so you have more playroom. You know, that's just me. Again, that is the AJ's hit his head against a wall so many times. That's what's worked for me. If you ask an audio engineer, that can be completely wrong. I'm just telling you, this is what has worked for me. Marcus A, exactly. Change is needed. Kevin, I had that same battle over 15 years ago. Have to ask if we're doing things out of tradition and principles. Exactly. Some people have done tradition for so long and they've never taught the people that were under them that this was a tradition. Those people now think that's a biblical principle when it's not. Like, you would be amazed how many people that, I'm 46, you'll be amazed that are people that are older than me that think Jesus was born on December 25th. And they'll get to arguing with you that, yes, it is. It says that in the Bible. No, it doesn't. Jesus wasn't born in December anyway, because Julius Caesar added the month of July and Augustus Caesar added the month of August. So it was actually 10 months in a year, not 12, if you actually do your history. But anyway, like I said, so many people, we're failing our duties in teaching biblical principles, and we're just repeating the same stuff that no one has context about it. Like, I always ask my daughter, why did you do this? Or, this is why I do this. Because I want her to know the reason why I'm doing it, not just out of habit. There's a reason why I do this. There's a reason why I do this. This is why we do this. This is why we do this. Not just do it because I told you to. That's bad teaching. Yeah, to be quite honest. Hey, Jeremy, continue the political discussion. I am extremely pro change and edification of all systems, but great care, thoughtfulness, tact must be taken as we move forward. I completely agree. You don't go like a bull through a china shop trying to destroy everything. Or some people say, like, when you tilt a plane, I'm not 100% on the exact number, but when a plane is banking and turning, it can't turn but so many degrees because it's going to get people upset. Or if you do the ship analogy, a ship can't turn a complete 360. It would throw everybody off, and at the speed, the ship might flip over. You have to slowly take a turn, and you turn it by degrees. So you got to be careful with it. But in the same way, if you're off by a degree, going in the wrong direction, and it doesn't look wrong right now, but after 15 miles, you're way out of the way of where you need to go. That little change can drastically affect it. But yes, we do need to change, because let's go back in time. So many churches were against all this live streaming stuff. And then when COVID hit, guess what? Everybody bought out everything imaginable, and it drove the prices up, because they're like, man, they were getting it out of they were buying this stuff out of desperation to try and fix what could have been fixed years ago. But no, I completely agree. Bruce, good morning to you. Larry, I purchased the AV cams. Great. I got that one right there hooked up to my Mac. Good camera, good camera. Back to creative for fun. I've already connected the cameras to help people not media savvy that feel intimidated by the ATEM itself. I want to add presenter and other necessary button pushes. By the way, I love Opus. Cool. All right. Well, we can look over that when I'm up there. Ryan from Barbados. I need to visit Barbados. I heard it's beautiful. What grade do I give it? I'd give it I give it an 8 out of 10 just because it has a, and again, I may be overthinking this. I would say it has a more technical setup. You don't have to be that technical to set it up, but to really set it up the way it is with the app and all this other stuff, you need to know a little bit about your networking and stuff like that. So I give it to that way. Thank you for that. I'll circle back on that. John, but under that setting, in the settings that I went, you can set the resolution. So under the external output options, you pick the resolution that is being sent for the display. And so I would say verify that. And once I can get this back up, we'll look back over that again. Because I know mine right here in front of me is at 1080p, which is what I'm outputting to y'all. Well, actually, I'm outputting that to the web presenter, and the web presenter is up converting it to 4K. Did a reinstall and just like that in Eureka just in time. Awesome. Glad you got it working. Well, John, I'll be honest. If you get the HD mini monitor, the mini monitor HD is going for $130. It will be, you check off external renderer, and then it will push it out to that. And it does make it easier, but you can do it the same way. I don't know why. I have a 3080 RTX 3080 on here, and it was struggling. I don't know why on here. I'm not doing nothing on the computer, so I have no idea why it's doing that. But the Decklink does make it easier because it vMix offloads that to it, and it does render, and it does give you an output of HDMI or SDI. And actually, I think you can use both at the same time. Mike, it's all about the gain. That gain, the gain, right? Yeah, gain is, again, how far away somebody is. So like right now, this mic is good because I'm right up on here. But if I'm this far away, I need to turn the gain up to compensate for how far away I am from that. Yes, and that's the good thing. A lot of people don't. That's the first thing when I install a sound system. The basics I tell people. The faders is for volume. The gain is for how far away is the source from the microphone. So if somebody's holding the mic at their belly button, turn the gain up. When they put the mic back down, turn the gain back down. That's not one thing. And I think a lot of churches that I've had, it's still an old mindset. They still have the old mindset. Like, again, y'all know, some of y'all don't know, I was a preacher's kid. So I've seen the transition where the sound system used to be in the podium, the podium under the pulpit, and they'd flip the on switch, and no one ever touched anything. Those days are over with. Especially if you're live streaming, you are always going to have to make some type of tweaks. Like even me, it's just me here, and I still got to make tweaks, because it's not going to be a set it and forget it, because you just never know. You always got to make some changes here and there. G. Albert, good morning to you. Larry, got vMix 28. Got it going with instant replay. Got a similar box like the JL Cooper Tech is really changing for sweet. Rob, that's why the Bible say to study to show thyself approved. Exactly. But again, some people abdicate responsibility by, if I just listen to my pastor, they're doing it, so that automatically means that pastor is doing everything right, so I just got to rinse and repeat what they're doing. No, you need to study the Bible, because it's a whole lot. I remember my dad, before he passed, he told me a very wise lesson. Every time my dad used to preach, he would say, go home and read this, because what I'm preaching might be not a word for you, and it might not be applicable to you. My dad always said, if you go to a ministry and they preach and they tell you that this is the only way to view this scripture, they're teaching persuasion and they're not teaching the gospel. You know, what you say might mean this for me at this season in my life, and then I come back a year later, it means something completely different. You have to study to show yourself approved. You have to learn for yourself and stop passing off the responsibility to somebody else. You can't get to the pearly gates and be like, well, I did it because Pastor blah, blah, blah said that. Well, you should have studied for yourself. Did you read it? No. Well, again, you don't get in trouble for what you know that is wrong. Is you get in trouble for the things you think are right that are wrong. Anyway, G. Albert, I have an off-base question. I have an M1 Mac Mini, have two monitors. Lately, both monitors will go dark for about 30 seconds, occurs at a 5 to 10 minute interval. I'm guessing that the Mac is tired. I don't know. I mean, mine doesn't do that. I don't know. I mean, nobody does screensavers anymore. Now, I did realize when I did the upgrade to Windows 11 for, why is the name of the church escaping me? I remember when I look in Epworth. I was going to say Elmont. When I did their stuff at Epworth, I realized that somebody turned on a screensaver and their screen kept going blank. Most people don't use screensavers anymore. So maybe that's the issue, but that's what I'm just thinking just because I just noticed that recently. I would check that. Ty. Hello, hello. DeMarcus Lacey. I'm doing a tent revival this year and need a live streaming setup strategy. I'll be buying a Starlink modem for internet and a Sony FX30 camera. What software would I use? Well, that all depends on how you want to connect it. You got a bunch of things. You can go simple, you can go complicated. So you could get the AVCans one here. I do have another one that's behind me. I have the GoStream, whichever one is comfortable. The GoStream, you're still going to need a monitor. The AVCans one has a monitor built in, so you don't necessarily need that. Or you could get the M2 that is going to be a computer that does it. So it all depends on your setup. So you could get one of these. So that way your Sony can plug into that. You can also plug in your audio into that, and then it will connect out to your Starlink or your router or whatever. And this one will do multiple streaming to that. And then you can have audio and all of that, and you can do recording. So that all depends. I'm actually working on my setup for the second year in a row. I have to do the live streaming of the North Carolina's Notary of the Republic conference. So I have to stream their main conference, but then record 2 other days. So I'm building out a live streaming setup that I was going to do. I'm looking at getting the RX16 because I can use that as that's a mixer. That's a rack mounted one. So I'm wanting to put this in a 10U mobile rack. I'm going to put that in there. I don't need to bring my Starlink, but I probably will, depending on how the internet is there. Because this is the time I had to rewire the building because they didn't have internet there. And the hotel staff let me go in the back and run a new line into the conference room. So they never called me back to fix their stuff throughout the building. But anyway, and doing the setup. So most likely what I'm going to do is bring my ATEM with me. Or if I can get this ATEM television studio working, I might take that with me so I can put everything rack mounted. But again, you got your internet, you got your camera. The main thing is going to be like, what's going to be handling your streaming? Are you going to be using a laptop? Then I would still advise maybe like a simple capture card. Are you only going to do one camera? If so, you could get like one of these $10 capture cards, USB, plug it into your computer. And then how are you also handling audio? That comes into your computer. Could probably plug it into the camera so it can bring it all into the capture card. And then your laptop does the streaming. If you want to use any of these devices, they will plug directly into that device. Just need to know that setup. But you can go in any one of those directions. Albert Gain, nice to know, but I still think we'll get occasional feedback and nasty looks from, yeah, you'll get feedback if the gain is too high. That's why it's not a gain that you set. You set it for the moment if somebody's holding the mic. So if somebody pulls the mic away from here, you turn that gain up temporarily until they're finished, or me, I would tell them, hold the mic up, or I'd walk down there and push the mic closer to them. That's what I do. Say I don't have tact. I don't care. Because it's like, if I had to tell you every Sunday to hold the daggone mic closer to your mouth and you don't listen, I don't need to have tact. Because I've already told you tactfully 4 times. You tactfully chose to ignore it. So that's what I would do. Also check to make sure that no one has enabled monitors to go to sleep. Yeah, that's a good suggestion too. Thank you for that. Where am I at? What page am I on? Still on page 1. So I think we've reached the end of these questions. Oh, I got some more. I'm just waiting for them to pop up here. MA16V3. Come on now. There it goes. We're in a bit of an emergency here at my church. Can you demonstrate the absolute slowest pan of the Fomaco camera at or near maximum zoom for one of the Famacos? You would ask me that, and I just disconnected it. Hold on a second. So I had to set this back up because the other camera was on that address. So let me hook up the video here. Play. All right. Now, I did change that. Hold on. Need to change the IP address. 4. All right, there we go. So if I cut over to here, that is the Fomaco right now. And again, when you're zoomed all the way in, great day, I need to shave. When you zoom all the way in, you got to be really delicate with it. So let me try and zoom all the way into something. Yeah, and it's not getting into focus here. There we go. So I got to manually turn into focus. So again, that, you got to turn that speed down. I'm going to turn this down as slow as possible. My pan and tilt speed is, it won't let me go lower than 20%. So even right there, that's still kind of crazy. So let's see. I am going to log in to see if I can turn it down even more. Oh, I'm going to there. So that's the camera. So there's the tilt speed. If I change those to 1. Now let's see. See, even then, I mean, it's not as bad, but still, yeah, it's still rather interesting. I had it on manual focus. Get back, focus it manually. Come on, let's get back into focus. So I would say, are you turning it down from the joystick, or are you turning it down from the actual camera interface as well too? That might be some other stuff that you could do as well. Because I got the joystick turned down. It won't let me go lower than 20%. I got the speed directly on the camera at 1 and 2. I mean, at 1 for both. So if I zoom all the way out, and you see how slow it is? I'm still pushing. I don't know if you can actually, and I don't even have another camera for you to actually see what I'm doing. Yeah, you can't see my hand with this. Slide this over just a little bit. So, like, for it to be moving, wrong camera, but I'm moving this thing. Can we, hold on, let me do a super source real quick so y'all can see me. So, we need to change that to right PTZ. And we're going to change this second one. No. Did you see? All right, that one. Then upstream key number 2. Change that to the Mac. All right. So I am cranking this thing. Look, AJ, you got to be on the right camera that you're adjusting to see, for them to see. All right, we're number 4. So I am, see, trying to juggle all this stuff at the same time. All right, so you can see my hand. We go back to number 4. Now I am cranking this thing all the way over, and you see how slow it is. So we set the speed, but I think the issue is once we zoom in. So let's see if we can see this FedEx sign sticker on my door that I stuck there. Let's manually get it into focus. All right, so we got that there. And it's just because of the distance. Like, if I was zoomed all the way out, it's still going to be slow. But it's just because of how close you're in. You're going to have to do some real sensitive muscle memory to get that straight. So that's just kind of the nature of the beast, because you can see even with me doing it, like, you just got to be real delicate with how you're doing it. And even then, me being delicate, it's still doing something, it's still going to flow real fast with what you're doing. But once I zoom all the way out and I'm doing the same thing, it is very, very slow. It's just the nature of how it is, unfortunately. So I would say one other thing you could do is try and just tap it remote in with the camera and see it, in the camera's web page, and see if you can do it that way. But yeah, unfortunately, naturally, it is going to do that in your situation. Let me see, back to your next comment. One of our PTZs is probably going to be trash, but we need to replace it. I have a replacement in mind, the 20X. Paula, thank you for that. And I will. Where's that page I had open? Yep, there it goes, and it actually finished. So let's go back and check that out. So here under the Opus Clips, it's finished. We click on here, and these are some of the sections that it made for us. Now let me loop my audio in here so y'all can hear it clearly. Do the main. So this one is under 30 seconds, and let's see what it does. Because like I said, my stuff, it doesn't fit appropriately, but we'll see. We got another ministry straight with their internet. So now instead of them, well, it's in a better position because of what we did with the upgrading of the video system that we did last week. And they were able to record everything through the ATEM. They can actually upload directly from their live stream. So I mean, yeah, that's fine. It's just weird for what I'm doing. Let's look at some other ones. I'm gonna come up here and just reposition that, but see it like that, that's pointless for me. So now, or maybe this one. Worst case, if we have to move it, we'll move it. Make sure I'm lined up here. So, I mean, it does a good job. It's just my content doesn't seem like it's applicable. If I was doing smaller stuff, I think it'll work, especially from a sermon standpoint. If somebody is centralized to it, I think that would be a good idea. Let me see if I can actually find another example of just a sermon and see how that would work. Man, I got to get used to this keyboard. Come on now. Ooh. Why is my typing so off? So I'm gonna see if I can go back and get and I'll tell you one thing, I despise political stuff, and I can't stand that all of my feeds are full of nothing but political this, political that. It is annoying. All right, so here's Pastor Paul's sermon. This is when the Vought was singing. So I'm gonna copy this link and let's see how it does with this one as well too. So we'll give it one more chance, and this will actually be a sermon. And again, he is the central focus of the camera, so I think this might work a little bit better. I'm gonna keep the length of these up to 60 seconds as well. We'll use that format and we'll come back and see. So it does work great, but it just doesn't work. Mine subject probably doesn't give it a good example of what it's going to do, what it could do for a ministry. So now that I've done a sermon, we'll see how that will work as well too. Mike, you can also raise the slider volume to a point, but if you are at the top, then you have to increase the gain, but you want to keep your gain at a consistent level for instruments. Set it and forget it. Yeah, for instruments that are directly plugged in, you don't have to touch the gain with that. Most of the time with the gain, I keep that, I don't know, maybe at 0 or even less than that, because they're directly connected. There is no distance for that. MA16 V3 figures. I'm glad you said that word because it reminded me of something. Juggling some network maintenance and also trying whatever I can to save this unit, but it's not looking good. Let me take a little pause for a second. I've been telling y'all a long time ago that I wanted to design something to solve a couple of issues. And the last couple of churches that I've been at, they've had having the shaking issue with their cameras because of the walls and stuff like that. So I ordered a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to be putting something together, and I'm going to do this as a video to kind of show you what I'm doing. So I am designing a couple of these things. So right here, I got 2 of these plates here, and I'm going to make my own kind of like gimbal. I did this before at a church, but then it was like overpriced, and I'm actually going to design this myself and get the aluminum cut and all this other stuff. So there's going to be 2 baseboards like this, and then I also have these 1/4 steel anchors. So these are going to screw in to each one of these. There's going to be 4 on each quadrant. So a metal steel spring, not a metal spring, but it's a tough steel rope is actually going to loop through there, and it's going to compress, and we're going to put a spring in the center for buffer. So hopefully it'll absorb the shape. And because of all these holes, the PTZ is going to be mounted on here. It has more than enough holes to do the centerpiece. Then the other piece is going to be the mount. and then never know, I might even make a mount with it, depends on how this goes, and kind of make one that absorbs it. And we're going to be testing it out. So that was just a project that I've been saying for a long time I wanted to do. Half of the stuff came in. It was the other steel wire was supposed to be here yesterday, but it looks like it's going to be delivered sometime today. And then all of these mounts and brackets and everything like this, I'm gonna put that together. So depending on how it works, we might put that together, or me, I'll show y'all how to do it. And if you want to put the work in, do it yourself, then you can. So, but be on the lookout for that, because I've had way too many people ask about that. And it mainly came up at New Vine because somebody stepping hard on just walking actually lightly on the balcony is shaking the camera. Hans, good day. What is a good camera setup for a small church using someone else's space? Everything has to be broken down. I would honestly go with a camcorder, or you can go with a PTZ. I mean, because the PTZs that I was just using, that one is going for around, and actually I can hook both of them up. Hold on a second. The PTZ that I was using, kind of like the one that's over my head, that's going for like $350. You put that on a tripod, HDMI cable out, and you could use it with a remote, or whatever. I mean, that's around like $350. You get a good camcorder, you're looking at least $500. So a PTZ like that, the AV cans with a tripod, you're still going to be less than that, and it can easily be broken down. That's what I would probably say. From that standpoint, if you need something to record naturally, then I would go with a camcorder because it has that all built in. But that would be my personal preference, just because the cost is so low. Alrighty. I'm looking forward. The best outdoor stream router. Well, what's going to be your internet source? Because I know this is my little travel router that I take with me when I'm going to places. If I'm out and about, this is what's providing me Wi-Fi, and I connect my Starlink or my internet wherever I'm at. That comes here, and I can set up my own private network for everything, so nobody's on anything. That's how I always set my stuff up. But when you're saying an outdoor stream router, what is your source of the internet, or did you want the router to also have an uplink directly that is providing access to the internet? Let me know, and we can circle back on that. I'm turning it down from the joystick. I'm trying to make sure that we aren't jerking around when we move the camera. It's placed at the near max zoom of the camera. I feel like this should be fine for us. Hey, you are welcome. Also, ad break dropped right as you started moving the camera. Yeah, I can't control those. They do that. YouTube does that on their own. These PTZs are very affordable, but something like pan and tilt are not that good. I got the AV Cans 20X. Pan is very slow and smooth. Not too happy with the color mixing. Well, the color, how do you have it doing auto exposure? Because that's what I have mine set to. So like right now, if I cut over to this one, this is a PTZ Optics one, and I have it set to auto white balance and auto exposure. So if I turn those off, my color is washed out, but then I can always dial that stuff in. But I leave mine at auto, and then it brightens it up. And I mean, that's the same way, but I mean, you could manually adjust it, because like right now, unless I say something, the average person is not going to be able to tell the difference between this is a 4K cinema camera and then that one. Most of them, you got to dial them in. But yeah, I do agree, they're good. But if you're at the point where it's like, this is for any church. If you're like, because I had one person that they're saying they don't like the way the colors are on the PTZ. I'm like, well, you can dial them in, but if you've reached the limit of what the PTZ can do, you're looking for more like a manual camera, like a Blackmagic or one of those other ones that are just going to get really, really pricey if you're trying to adjust that. I would have to say for that, the only one that I know of that I've personally used would be Starlink. I have the Starlink Mini. That yes, that dish costs $500, but 50 gigs for $50 a month, and I can turn it on and off whenever I need to. That works for me. And that's helped when I've done games and stuff like that. And that's what I'm probably going to take. I mean, well, I haven't been doing any sports because schools just they don't need live streaming, or they've gone to some automated solution which looks like hot trash. But that's what I bought as a backup. But that is going to be a part of my mobile studio because that let me take a second and show you the dream what we want to do. Looking it up. So this is the trying to find a better picture of it. Maybe I'll use this one. So the like I go to a place to show links, and then the page is so outdated it looks horrible. All right, so I'll use this one. This is an example of it. So the dream is to get something like this and completely turn this into a mobile studio. Put solar panels on it so it can have its own battery backup. Maybe put an Anchor Solex power supply in here. Out of here. Where is it at? Where? Stupid ads. So like this bigger one has about 6,000. No, I forgot the number because but anyway, this will be in the back. Solar panels on the top to provide internet. I mean power for everything. It'll be a mobile studio on outside. I will put jacks. So if I have IP24 or SDI or HDMI connections, they would be there, waterproofed. So just imagine at a church or you have an outdoor event or whatever, it would be like a mobile studio. Travel there, have the monitors, got the video switchers, got the computers, have all this other stuff, got outputs that if you need to feed this to different displays or whatever, and be able to tow this. That's the dream. I wouldn't do it right now since I'm renting this house, but I get a house and I have a place where I can set this and secure it in the garage. That would be the dream DIY build that I'd love to do. And just imagine you have an outdoor event, roll up on this thing, and then internet is going to be impeccable. Streaming would be impeccable. That I'd love to have something like that. That's a dream that we're aiming for someday. Back to MA16. Let me know if you ever need help designing a network. You'll have to translate from Cisco, but I've been on a networking. No problem. I will let you know. Ryan, hey AJ, not sure if you've mentioned it, but what network rack did you use at Mount Tabor? I'm looking for a small rack. That rack, because I just actually ordered another one for Mount Bethel, is, hold on, waiting for my order history to come up here. Come on now. All right, it wasn't a 6U, it was a 9U. Yeah, they don't have it available on here right now, but the one I got was this one. Now I'll put a link here. So the one I got from Mount Bethel is actually a 12U, but this is the one that I got for them that fit in there. I got them an actual 9U at Mount Tabor, and it was the vented one, not the glass one. This is the one that I got that's not available right now. They only have the glass one. I like the mesh one, so it has more breathing room in there. So I'll provide a link for that one for you. But I hope that helps. And honestly, the 12U is like only $10 more. So if I had known that, that's the one I would have actually gone with. 12U wall rack. All righty. Let's see what other questions we got here. Okay, I already answered that, but uplink from the router. Yeah, Starlink. I using the mini, the Starlink mini. That's what I'm using right now. How do you integrate Presenter with NDI for OBS? You have to run the NDI scan converter so that will work. So let me open this up, because Presenter does not have NDI functionality natively. So let me open up Presenter first. All right, so I got Presenter right here. And say I bring this up, there is no output. So like if I cut back over here to this camera, so it's outputting to this screen right now. There is no NDI functionality built in. But if you do the NDI, if you download the NDI tools, I hate when it does that. It doesn't show me what I want. Y'all can't see the screen. If you download the NDI tools, there will also be a tool in there called, it is screen capture. It used to be called scan converter, but it's called screen capture now. So let me, before I even launch it, if I come in here and I want to add an NDI source. So see right now, they're just my cameras and all this other stuff. And vMix is still running for some odd reason here. So again, I just got my cameras and that's it. All right. So now let's go ahead and close that. I'm going to run the screen capture, the NDI screen capture tool. I run it. All it's doing is taking every screen that's on your computer and making it accessible for to be sent over NDI. So now if I go back to the NDI and I search, and look, they're all my monitors now. So I believe that's monitor 1. No, not monitor 1. I believe it's monitor 3. Nope, it's not monitor 3. It's monitor 2. So there's now my presenter output being sent over NDI. Just run it, download the NDI tools, run screen capture, and now you have an option to, it's going to capture that screen and send it over. So if I come over here, back over to presenter, I'm going to move this over, and I decide to go over to the weekly announcements that I play. So that's all being done through there. So if I go back to our background, if I go to any of the slides that I have here, and you could do this as a lower third as well too. So if I come back in here, put on a filter, do a color key, I select the color, custom, I want to pick that color, and boom, now I have lower thirds being done. Do the scripture changing on here as well too. So I hope that helps. I thought I may have done a video on that, but there you go. Really straightforward. You just need the NDI tools, run the screen capture app. It will make sure that presenter is being pushed out. Now, this goes for what I was talking about that people keep confusing when I did the video about the HDMI headless. So if you only got one monitor, you can't use presenter because it's looking for two monitors. This is where you use this, your computer thinks you have another monitor. And then now I can send presenter to this. Even though you don't see it, it's a fake monitor. When you do screen capture, it will still capture this as if it's a monitor and then output it. So that's the reason I did that. People still get that confused. They keep thinking, hey, if I plug that into a splitter, will that work? No, it won't do anything because it's a splitter. It's not going to split anything if it's not going to anything. But Sunday Johnson, I hope that helped you. Melvin, quick question. For a video wall, what video processor do you recommend that's Novastar? Honestly, I just take whichever one that they give. The last one that I used was, let me see. Yay, they listened to my advice on LED Nation. They stopped auto playing the YouTube video when you go to their page. That used to be, I just want to thank LED Nation for, I was like, dude, if you don't stop clapping on this daggone video, man. I'm trying to find the model. I don't think it tells me. Yeah, it was the MCTR L300. MCT RL300. That was the last video processor for a digital wall that I was using. I hope that helps you. All us presenter users here need to pressure worship tools to support NDI natively with Alpha. They've been working on it for years. Yeah, I think it's mainly the licensing thing, to be quite honest. What time is it? It feels like a lot of time has gone by. But that's what we got. So why is my pause? Oh, I just wasn't moving. I was looking at the feed and I'm just like, why does it look like I'm not moving? But let me see. That's what we got so far. Now let me go back to our opus and let's see what we got so far. Because that was using the sermon. Did I close it? Oh, I must have closed the window. Thankfully, it's there, so we can just go back to the dashboard. And let's see. Alrighty, we're back here. Let's see what was made. He took the pictures of people in the choir. Oh, no, I definitely wouldn't use that. So let's see. I don't know, unless they're agreeing with it. Let's see. Nah, I ain't going to get beat up by... Her dad would be so mad if I actually used that. I'm not going to play that. Let's see what this one does.
The first key to being an effective witness to the world is to understand that our mission is from God. That whenever and wherever we have opportunity to witness, it is because through God's providence that God sent us to be his witness. As ministers and missionaries, we must remember that God is the one that opens the doors for us to witness. The first key.
See, that one's good. I wish they would have finished the last second, but I mean that's a good one. Like the pictures with people in the background, that one, that one is kind of weird. Let me see this.
And I believe I'm in the company of some folk this morning who don't mind saying, Lord, whatever you're doing in this season, don't do it without me. If you're healed.
See, that's not bad because she's actually agreeing. Dana's agreeing with that. So, and let me see. Michelle here. What's her expression?
The text declares there was a man sent from God whose name was John. And see, the reason that John was...
See, that's a weird one there. But I mean, I think it's...
Lord, have mercy. I'm trying to help somebody this morning. We have to be committed beyond the moment, beyond the inspiration, beyond our feelings. We have to come to a place where we're willing to be used by God, even when we're not feeling very user-friendly. Even when it becomes and moves us out of our comfort zone, because what I've discovered about God is that when you make yourself available to him, God will use you in ways that you could not even imagine. God will use you in ministry and in places, Miss Noble, that you didn't think you could do.
That's a good one. Now, what I would do with this is actually, you probably seen them on Instagram and stuff. I'll put some music behind that. But that's a real good one. So like I said, I can see this being used well in ministries. It's just not that great for the stuff that I do. Now, if I do like my podcast when it's just me centralized, I think that would work. So I'm gonna play around with that one and probably put some music to that, because I still have access to do all the stuff on the pages. So I might play around with that one and see what we can do to that and edit that one. Mr. Skilla, how are you using connecting your GoPro to your studio wirelessly? No, that's my Osmo Action, and it's actually connected over a USB cable, so it's not wireless. Follow-up question. On the NDI and presenter, the system running the presenter has been done on a separate system. Is being done on a separate system, correct? No, it's actually the same system, but that same concept would work if I did this on another one. So, like, if I started. So I got my other computer here that's streaming to like Twitch and the website. Let me. All right, so I only have the runtime over here. Let me do the NDI tools. This is going to be a completely different system, but it's still on the network. Excuse me. Why won't you just let me get the download? Got all this information. Don't want that. I just want the download. Thank you. All right, give me a second. It's downloading, and then I'll install it, and it's going to be on the second computer. It's the computer that's over here. So that's the one I'm actually going to be installing it on. Come on, you're done. Thank you. Install this. So if this happened to be another computer, the whole concept would still work. So I mean, right here, we're just doing the install there. It's taking so long. But we'll come back to that. It's going to install, and I'm just going to do the same thing. And we're going to run scan converter, and it should show the monitor showing up. I only have one computer monitor hooked up to this. Why? Oh, it's installing a whole bunch of prerequisites. So we'll come back to that. Back to Mr. Skillet. Thank you for the AI and 11 Labs tutorial last week. I'm currently playing around with it for the refresh of our announcements. Cool. I am glad it helped. All right, so it's almost done installing. Oh, hold on a second. folks. Oh my gosh. I thought it was a package, but no, thank you. It was like, ladies, I thought this was an order. Calling me about. Anyway, we got the other computer up. So I'm going to run. Let's cut back over here. So we're going to look at NDI tools. Going to run screen capture. And it just popped up in the lower part of the screen. So now, if we come back over here, let's go back to OBS. So now, if we come back in here, so now, as you can see, that's my other computer. So now that's under the network. If I select that, that's the desktop that's over there. I don't know why the screen looks. Oh, because I'm on a wide monitor. That's why it's looking like that. So that's the other one that's running my live stream that's going to Twitch and all this other stuff. So that's what's going on over there. And you see it's lagging just a little bit just from the network. Oh, because I also have that filter still on. So that's what's pulling up. So if I don't want to bring up anything else. If I was bringing up something, so let's bring up 3D Mark. And I really don't know why it's, that system is streaming, but it shouldn't be. I'm wondering how much my network is being used for that. It shouldn't be using that much. Let me see. Let's see what the bandwidth is looking like. So if we come over here, got a lot of data coming out of the 10. That's my main system. So it's not doing that much. Everything's going to the web presenter, which makes sense from a traffic standpoint. But then, see, that's my other computer that's going right now. It's not even maxing out anything. I don't know why that's going slow. Might need to configure it a little bit more, but so let's see. Can we run a demo? See how that looks from here. But I mean, that does work from that remotely. But while you're doing that, let's circle back and let's see. Back to John. Light bulb moment for my vMix question from earlier. Output on NDI, then use Studio Monitor output on a different. I've done that as well too. That can work as well. That's what I used to do here originally before I had a output card or a graphics card that gave me more outputs. Yes, I told him. I said, I'm on a live stream. If this ain't important and you ain't delivering a package, I gotta go. Can I leave my card with you? Sure. That's exactly what I told him. So if I cut back over here, see it's running. It's slow. I mean, it's slow over the network, so I don't understand that. I might have to dial that in with some settings. But it's Cassie 1. I hope all is well. My question is, how do you dispute copyright claim when it's the choir singing? There's no track or anything, just the band. First off, find out who's claiming it. Because I've had a whole lot of people claim a bunch of stuff and they don't really own it. So I'm going to give a good example. I'm going to go to a page that I know is probably going to get hit with some stuff because they get hit with stuff all the time. So let's just walk through one of these things. Let me go to their page, switch account. All right, let me go to their studio. All right, if we go to content, and all right, right here, they got hit with a copyright on January 12th. Let's see what this is claiming. Glorious is thy name. Let's go to another one because they get hit for a bunch of stuff. This is the 26th. What was this hit for? Glorious is Thy Name again. But I want to see who is claiming ownership of this. Polaris Hub. Let's see who this is. And the whole thing, like I always tell y'all, make sure you're doing stuff right, because there's no leg to stand on if you're playing something that you really don't own. Is one of the only places you can come across their music. Oh, see, let's see. This Polaris Hub claimed ownership copyright on a song I wrote and posted on YouTube. I'm in Australia, and anyone know about the story? YouTube is legally not allowed to interfere with copyright claims. They're absolutely correct when they say it's your problem, which stinks. So again, they don't look like they have. Polaris Hub is a bunch of junk. See, a lot of these people like YouTube and Facebook, they don't vet if they actually own the stuff. So like in this scenario, I'm going to dispute this. I'm going to be careful because I might get hit with this as well too. Actually, let me take my sound off from the live stream. I'm going to keep it here locally so I can hear what they're talking about. But that's 14. So let me jump to the time they're talking. That's them straight. Heck no. That's not even the right song. Let's look this up. See, this is where you got to be Batman and be your detective. Oh, and it's under hymnary. Ooh, this makes it even easier. So if I go here, and this is a hymn. So let's open this up. This is what they're singing. Let's verify that Great Redeemer. Let's see where that verse is. Great Redeemer. All right, that's verse number 2. Now let's scroll down here and let's see who owns this. Copyright. See, this is going to be my dispute right here. So let's build this case. So I'm gonna dispute this. Dispute public domain, because it is in the public domain. So they can't own this because the song is actually in the public domain. You can't claim ownership of something that you. See, this is why that stuff gets on my nerves. This song is a hymn in the public domain, copyrighted by, paste, copyrighted by Broadman Press. The claiming company does not own the rights to this song in any way and is submitting false claims. Sign all of that. And I submit. So again, I verified that you don't own that, and that was being done live, and that's a hymn. No, you don't own that at all. So I mean, let's do a little history on this as well too, and it's published in 35 hymnals. No. Let's see. Glorious is Thy Name. Hymn. Copyright. Um, Yep. No, that's not correct. This must not be the right version. Yeah, because that's not even. Yeah, because that's not Most Holy. That's a different song. Yeah, you have to look through it because some of these will try and claim different names of songs when it's not correct. Because that was written in 1942 and it was renewed by Bortman Press. Yeah, you have to just be mindful of this because I mean, first off, their name ain't on it nowhere, so no, they don't own that, and that's a Nordic company, so heck no. You got to fight that stuff when you know it. Hey, you are welcome. Back to Mike. Do you have a video on how to separate out all the cameras and media sources into a virtual network under Unify? Yes, I do. I do. Well, I'm setting up Mount Bethel here. And actually, I would go back and look at the Unify setup that I did for Signs and Wonders. I think I went through that in detail. I'm doing that same thing. Dean, how's it going? I'm having some news. I launched my LLC today here in North Carolina. Well, congratulations to you. I just started doing my taxes. So it just made me think about that because I had to put in my paperwork. Because I think 3 years ago or 2 years ago, I went from an LLC to an S Corp. So I had to do them wonderful taxes. Filing that started it. Follow up. Some of the computers would need access the main network and printers. Yeah, that's why I normally set mine up. So like I can show you Bethlehem's because Bethlehem is kind of the same way, not as complicated. So for me, up under here, see, I have different networks. So I set up my network for my IP address range first. Actually, let me go to mine because mine has the more complicated stuff. So I have my network set up in different VLANs. So for my Unify Access, I put them on one and all this other stuff. And then you can tag different ports so that it gets those exact same numbers as well too. So if you come in here to the ports and say, I want to come over here and port number 1, I want that assigned to whatever VLAN that you want. So whatever they plug into, that's automatically going to get that. So like if I had my PTZ and I made a PTZ network, VLANs or something like that, you can do it that way. Also, when you set your networks up, you give it guest profiles if you wanted to. So like under here, I set this, you can allow internet access. I have that one onto a content filtering and things like that. So if anybody comes here, they can't be looking at no crazy stuff. And why is that hotspot? No, that'll be internal. And then like if I have one for family, this is what I have my daughter on. That's on filtering. You could also let there be speed limitations and all this other stuff, but it's very straightforward. You just do a do network, give it a name, what zone, and that's new. That must be the new firewall stuff that came out with it. But you set an IP address range that you want. Do you want it to be a guest network? And I'll just say YouTube test. And I can do auto scaling. Well, you can. I put my own number in here. So let's say 172.16.10.1, something like that. And you could just do add or you manually set it off and then, I want to check off everything else. But what network do I want it to be assigned to? So they must have changed it from internal to something else. So you could put it on the DMZ. So that's past your firewalls. Then you can check off isolate so they can't talk to each other. So in your scenario, I put all the printers and everything on the main and then nobody else can get to that. And that's why I always tell everybody, every church, I was like, this is for people who are administrators, the media. Do not give this Wi-Fi out to anybody or this network. Anybody that's plugged in any computers, they're always going to be on the main. Anybody else is on something separate. So I hope that helps you. And I think we're at time, folks. So, hey, want to get this stuff out of the way. I want to give a big thank you to all my Patreon and YouTube members. If you like what we're doing here, folks, and you want to help contribute to move this ministry, this page forward to help more people, you can become a Patreon supporter by going to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO, or you can click the join button down below. No matter which way you pick, folks, you are helping us train media ministries all over the world. And y'all think I forgot. I did not forget. I did not forget. I am going to look through here and we're going to grab somebody's name here so we can give them a code to get into our conference for free. So let's see how many people went through here, and we're going to pick a random comment here. Let's see, pick. Let's see, and there's my, I don't know why it didn't fade when it was done. Let's see. Of course, I should have brought this page up first. Let's see. Oh, they added all this stuff here. What? That's not right. It says my comments were disabled. No, they are not. Let me try a different one. Let's see. I really need to write my own thing for this because these mugs just be pulling some of the stupidest things. I think I might actually do this myself. I'm going to go through here. The last day to pay for the conference for online is actually going to be the 19th, the Saturday, and we'll shut it down Saturday. You would have missed. I mean, even if you buy the tickets on Saturday, you'll still be able to go back and watch all of the recordings. But that's what the plan is. In person, obviously, it's going to be that last day because, I mean, you'll be able to come in person on that last day. But let's see. Man. All righty. Well, we got you. I don't know if he's still here, but Hampton Conway, you were the person that got picked. So, what I need you to do, Mr. Hampton Conway, is send me an email at questions@ajhomes.com, and I will send you a code for that. Or you can direct message me, whichever one. And actually, let me see if I can find you here on the YouTube spheres. So that's what we got. So you are our winner. So we'll circle back. Send me that information, sir, and I will get you squared away. And let me see if I can actually find you, and I'll send you a message directly. So like I said, at the end of every live stream that we're doing, I will give away something. So I found your page, and I need to see if there's a way that I can contact you. Yeah, I don't have a way to contact you. But what I'll do, like I said, I got you on here. If you watch there, I will get you. Just follow up with me. Yeah, because normally your page would have I will always recommend y'all put some type of email link or something so that people contact you. You can follow up. But you're there. So I got it on here. So let me know, follow up, email me at questions@ajhomes.com. Send me a screenshot with this stuff with your face in it so I know that it's you. And then we will get you a ticket in the past, a code to go to the website and get registered and get you all squared away. So I think that's about it. Congratulations to you, sir. And again, don't feel left out, folks. We got plenty more of these things to go. Let's see. And like I said, I will be in Bristol, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia on Sunday, and Bristol Monday through Thursday, doing some stuff. If you're there in the area, when I'm done, maybe we can catch up during the break and all this other stuff like that. Rosalind, hello, hello. And Rosalind, look, I don't know if your husband was telling you. Look, let me show you. Look, wait, hold on a minute. Let's move this over here. Let's move this. Let's move the. Oh, look at that. Is that the same Rosalind West? I think it is. I think that's her book. That's look. The name is the same. All right, folks. So, like I said, that's about it. And just to tell you, folks, you are important. What you do is important. Whether you got thousands of people telling you around you that you're not important, you are. One of the biggest things that I had to learn is to be my best cheerleader. And when I had to cheerlead myself on when everybody else was saying all types of nonsense. So learn to develop that skill, but at the same time, look, I'm in your corner. I want to tell you that I appreciate everything you're doing. I appreciate the hard work you're doing. All those hours, all that time, all that money that you're spending that no one gives two craps about, I care about, because what you do is helping all of this works. It's not about me winning. It's not about you winning. It's about all of us winning together. If I can help you move forward, guess what? The kingdom moves forward. That's what it's all about. I'm not here to compete with you. I'm here to compliment you. So thank you for all the stuff you're doing. You're very, very much appreciated. And we'd be missing something if you weren't here doing what you're doing. So I hope all of y'all have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you is. And we'll be seeing y'all on the next video, folks. Later.